What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today as we play another episode of Neo Scavenger, where my... Hold on, what the hell? Go! I'm sorry, my panning is not working with WASD, and it's making me nervous. There we kind of go. I don't know. It's weird. I'm having a problem right now. It appears to be some kind of mechanical problem. So I've sold off all of my loot, and here's all the goodies that we can purchase while we're here. It may be better to just like get out of dodge with the bow and just not even consider it as a weapon. I mean, it's pretty busted up anyways. I know we went to all the trouble of making arrows and whatnot for it, but frankly, arrows are really, really easy to make, so why worry about it? Now, the big decision for us is whether we want to take the 308 or whether we want to take the shotgun. Now, over here, there's 12-gauge slugs for sure. So I think for right now, I will more than likely lean towards the shotgun, I think. I don't know if I'm going to keep it loaded right now. We are carrying a lot of weight at the moment. I think the urn is not helping either. No, don't sell the urn. Oh my god, that'd be the worst. That would be terrible, selling off a quest-required item. I think we might need the ice slabs for Hatter later, too. I'm not sure. We'll have to talk to him. I think there's an ice lab quest or something for Hatter at some point. As the elevator cage slows to a stop, you see Hatter through the iron lattice writing something on a sheet of plastic. He holds it up to an attending runner who then hurries to catch the elevator before it's recalled. Data runners, he says, wiping the plastic clean as you approach. Network's pretty spotty out here, even this close to the DMC. Besides, he puts the blank plastic back into a drawer. Media diversity makes for more security. He rests his forearms on the desk. So, you got a delivery for me? I do indeed. Hardly seems worth the fuss, Hatter says as you hand him the urn. I'd almost forego my end of the payment to know the story behind it. He places the urn in a safe, then locks it, but it's not worth the hit to my reputation. He reaches into a desk drawer and produces a black wristband. As agreed, your visitor's pass. As you ride the elevator car down through the building's innards once again, you wonder what to expect beyond the DMC's massive gates. Okay, I'm actually going to lock and load this thing for right now. I think we can actually, we can alternate shots if we want to. We only have 5 rounds, though, so we're probably going to want to use them sparingly. We also don't want to ditch the gun, because if we're going to drop the gun, what we need to do is drop the gun and take the bullets back into our inventory, because the AI will pick it up. I'm just saying, in case we need to use a sling, we have to basically... It's weird, but you start to get a feel for the way the game functions and like what the AI will do in certain situations. I think I'll probably... How are we so burdened still? Is it a combination of both, like, water and other random stuff, or is it just, like, everything right now? Because I don't feel like we're carrying that much stuff right now. It feels odd that we're being penalized already for... whatever. Detroit Mega City Gates, in we go. Oh, that's right. We gotta put the wristband on. I forgot about it. There we go. We got our wristband. I almost walked out without any... Well, I almost walked out without one of the best things you can have. I'm probably just gonna sleep right here, actually. Nobody ever tries to kill you in the city, so you might as well, like, rest every single time you're here. The DMZ guards do a pretty good job of opening anybody up that really tries to get rowdy. I don't know if I want to go into Detroit right now. I'm a little bit concerned about how burdened we are. Like, I don't know what's causing this amount of burdening, but it's definitely not okay. The gun is heavy. The gun is really heavy. So it might be that in combination with some of the rocks, because each of those are a half a kilogram, so we got... couple kilograms of rocks on us at the bare minimum, but you need them in order to survive, so unfortunately it's not really something I can do much about. That's not going to help much, and we need that for fletching, although I guess I could get rid of them. We are carrying around a lot of water right now. Ditch the shard since we're not going to need arrows anymore. Let me actually get a feel for how many rocks I actually have here. Could probably get rid of a lot of that string, too, since we can find it just about anywhere if we need it, so that'll clear us out a little bit further. Plastic bag we don't really need anymore, even though its weight is negligible and doesn't really count for anything. We've got the full metal jacketed rounds, got 38, 45, 308. We've got a couple of different round types, so no matter what we find in the future, we should be okay. Yeah, I'm interested in why we're burdened right now. It's gotta just be like... I don't know. Our weight doesn't feel like it's that high at the moment, but we're pretty close to the threshold right now of being unburdened. So it might be worth it just to ditch some water bottles maybe and just keep like a couple on me. I mean, I drink bad water all the time and it doesn't really do anything to me, so it might be worth it. I don't know. It's got to be a combination of just like rocks and everything else that we're carrying around with us. Range builds are not necessarily super efficient if you rely on the sling as much as I do with regards to the amount of space that you have. I'm going to reorganize this a little bit too. I know it's not the most entertaining thing to watch, but honestly, I'm kind of a mad Tetris player when it comes to this game. I prefer to have things all over the place. Let's go to the Last Chance Canteen. We will get some non-veggie stew real fast just to take the edge off because that'll put us at full. We're going to walk on out. We're actually not going to go into the DMZ right now. We're going to go back to Zomzoms, I think. And so I'm going to blindly retreat because it's probably a DMZ guard. Don't kill people around the DMZ. I know you're going to see a lot of people. They're going to have a lot of amazing looking loot. And you're going to be like, hey, I would love for that loot to be my loot. Come here, little NPC, and let me murder you real fast. Especially if you have the Strangler's Hood. If you've got the Strangler's Hood, you're going to want to kill people even more because that's just how the game goes. But what I would recommend is not doing that. I bet you I'm going to find tons of guns now. Watch, I'm going to find a gun in the first place that I go into after this. Oh, lockpicks and some ammo. Okay. Got a bunch of 38 rounds right now. I mean, 5 38s. So for a 38 revolver, that should be around like a full load. 38 revolvers, they vary between 5 and 6 shots, right? On the wheel gun version? I don't know. Gun people have to tell me. Our lockpicks are looking a little bit shabby. I will take those, actually. I'll take those. That seems pretty good. I'm also going to tear up this chip bag real fast because we need more fletching material. And it would be nice just to have more foil for when we go at Camp Grayling. There we are. Because you are going to need 2 foil suits before you go in. Bare minimum. You need 2 foil suits and you're going to need the orange box in order to do Camp Grayling totally, completely well. And I don't have hacking, so honestly, I'm not sure how Grayling's going to go. Every time I've ever done it before, I had hacking, which sort of like makes the game a little bit easier. Lock storage shed, what you got for me, bud? Lighter, yeah, I'll use a lighter. That seems good. We found something. It's a trap that produces noise. I should probably bring that if I was a good player that cared about surviving a long time, but I hate myself. No, I'll bring it. It's fine. I'll bring it. I always say that I hate myself when I do things like this because I so consistently sabotage myself with bad play just out of laziness. It's not even because I don't even know. I know what will happen if I do this action, but a lot of the time I'm just like, and I don't even care. I just let it happen anyways. And it's just, I don't know. I do it when I play on my own, too, where sometimes I'll die just because I don't feel like swapping out a weapon. I'll be like, oh, well. It's a weird condition to be afflicted by, like terminal laziness is what I would call it. It's a problem I've had my entire life. I love to be lazy every now and again. I just do. It's something that it pleases me. It makes me happy. Don't be lazy, kids. Don't be like me. I'm not lazy when it comes to work, though. That's the difference. When it comes to, like, actually doing my job and stuff, I hustle because that's just like, I come from a family, and I'm not even joking you right now, like, the last 2 generations of my family are basically all mechanics, miners, and physical laborers, and so that's just how I was brought up to, like, hustle really, really hard. No matter what, because nobody likes that guy on the work shift who's just like, mrah, and just, like, half-assing it the whole time. I mean, I don't blame him. Most jobs don't pay that well today. I think that's the biggest problem in the world, at least in the United States right now, is that jobs just don't pay enough. Like, there's so many jobs out there that totally suck. You got to change your situation, though. If you don't like I know a lot of people that'll sit around all day, every day, talking about how much they hate their job, but they, like, don't jump up on Craigslist and try and find something different to do, or they, like, I don't know. Just, like, working on YouTube. Like, I started YouTube as, like, a hobby in between. I'm dying of thirst right now. I think you're being a little melodramatic. I feel like you may be putting on some theatrics here. Oh, good. My makeshift sack fell apart, too. Just to add insult to injury. Just to add insult to injury. Luckily, it didn't have much inside of it, so there you go. Our sack was somewhat empty at this point. Let's go ahead and we'll drink up for now. We'll use some of our good water just to make sure that we stay squared away. Actually, I think I have more tannin tea than I thought I had right now. I could potentially start a fire and boil off some of this water to replace the excess of what we just lost, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be a terrible plan. But for right now, let's make ourselves a new sack. So we have 5 string. We need that right there. And we'll make that right there. Bim, bam, bomb. We're all good to go. I don't know where that string came from, by the way. It was just kind of like there. I have no clue where that string came from. We actually sort of lucked out a little bit. Alright, so we'll use this right here. Do we have sunlight right now? We do have sunlight, which is always nice. So we've got sunlight. Sunshiny day. Gonna use my... I need that rifle skill. Thank you. Fire. We have made fire. I have made fire, and therefore am man. Run from me. I always bring up Shere Khan right here, but I think I should probably stay away for right now. I'm not going to bring up Shere Khan for the moment. Can I roast these? I don't know. Roasted mushrooms. I don't even know if that's a thing that you can do. Where's this can of soup at that appears to be missing? It says that I have a can of soup. Is it this? What? Where is a can of soup in my inventory? Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Where is it? It says there's a can of soup here somewhere. Where's the can of soup? That's odd. Did they use a full can of soup? That's a weird item, right? Hold on. Hold on. So why... What? It's not in there. Where is this creamy crumb can of soup at? Oh, that is weird. Is it in one of my bottles on accident? No, it's not in one of the bottles. It's not in there on accident. Maybe that's what's throwing our weight off. I don't know where this can of soup is at, strangely enough. It says right here. Look, it says we have a creamy crumb condensed soup sitting right there. How odd is that? Where is that hiding at? Can you cook the soup? Does that do anything if I cook the soup? No, you can't. I was hoping maybe you could cook the soup and make it hotter and make it better, but it says there's soup right here, but there's no soup in my inventory. I feel like we have a hitchhiker right now. Like a random object that's in here somewhere, but we can't see it. Is it inside my sweatshirt pouch? It's in my sweatshirt pouch, which gets blocked by the sash. Oh my god, it's a bug. Okay, so I'm going to eat that right now too, because I don't feel like carrying it around anymore. It's too heavy. That explains. Okay, so the creamy crumb can of soup is like over a half a kilogram, as I recall. Anyways, I'm glad we found that, because that would have been a pain in the ass to deal with over the long term. What did I want to do now? I wanted to do... Oh, I was boiling water. That's what it was. Boiling the water. And I must go to boil the water, because I need water in my throat. We'll put these over here, and then we put these over here. And also you get to come along. There we go. So we boiled off some water. I'll probably just stack those up real quick and drink this one, because we're still looking a little bit parched. So there's that. Those are edible, so I'll probably try and finish those off too. We're looking alright right now. We're not looking like amazing, but we're looking okay. On our way back to Zomzoms, we're off on the road to Zomzoms to see if maybe we can get our cannibalistic tendencies taken care of. Got a 25% compound bow right there. Another Pharaoh bag, which I'm going to take. I'm going to close this off. We shall also bring this along with us, although it's worth checking to see if it has a login screen or not. Has a login screen. So we'll empty it out. Keep that battery. Probably, oh, that's worth $10. Yeah, throw it back in there then. We'll close that off, and we'll throw it in our inventory for later, because we don't need it right now. Compound bow is one of those items that, like, I would like to have it, but up until we get a spot where I can keep my crowbar, we're losing loot capacity in order to carry this along with us, and you gotta leave what you gotta leave sometimes. The storage shed. Nothing found right there. In a mercantile world near you. The storage shed. Got a bunch of sweatshirts over in here. I'm willing to bet that our sweatshirt's probably getting a little worn out at this point. So maybe stack that on in. It might not be a terrible idea to just bring a couple strings with us in case we need them. Cavilo painkillers, I'm going to empty that out. We'll throw those into our first aid kit in case we need painkillers. I don't think we will. How's our leg doing? Our leg is doing great. Awesome. That's what I like to see. Arrow wound healed without any problems. Luckily, it wasn't one of those arrows that our enemy rolled in shit or something before he fired it at us. Believe me, people used to do that kind of stuff. You put all kinds of nasty stuff on arrows before you fired at other people. I read an article about Roman graffiti that made me laugh, because apparently there was a city that got sieged, and so there are sling stones because they would fight with slings back then. And so what they didn't know is that the soldiers would write messages to each other on the sling stones. And so what archaeologists have found is they found sling stones with all kinds of like insults and things like that. I'll actually probably try and retreat right here. I don't really feel like fighting him right now. But what they found is they found sling stones with all kinds of insults on them. And so I think it was an article on crack.com actually that I like crack.com. I don't use it as like a news source, but honestly their articles are pretty hilarious most of the time. And so they found sling stones that say things like, "I hope this hits you in the dick," and stuff like that. It's just funny knowing that people back in the olden days are identical to us nowadays. Of course, every time. Every single time I buy a gun, I find one on the ground right afterwards. How did I know? How did I know? So salty right now. So salty and full of salt at the moment. Oh my god. So we got a Buckmaster 308. So what I'm going to do right now is we'll probably ditch the crowbar since those are pretty easy to come by. There's nowhere for me to put this. I wish that there was. I wish you could double up on a shoulder, but the game won't let you. Like, I used to wear multiple backpacks when I would go into the field when I was just trekking stuff in and out of a location. If you were just, like, trying to hike stuff in, I used to carry multiple backpacks at once. It wasn't comfortable, but you could do it. Since this is so valuable and it's in such good shape, though, I'm going to bring it with me, and we'll just kind of, like, bring it along for our adventures. Gyges is going to be over here. South of Gyges, there's, like, a mine or something like that where you can get, like, a radioactive box. I remember there's an orange box and there's a black box, and I think you need both in order to access... I think you need both in order to properly access Camp Grayling, although I couldn't tell you for sure. I know that I've gotten like a radioactive little box that raises your temperature too, like if you hug it. I don't know. We'll go... I'll probably stay away from Zomzoms for just a second. Instead, what I'll probably do in between episodes... Actually, we've got plenty of time left, so instead, what I might do... Let's sleep for a minute. I hope we don't get murdered, by the way. We're carrying around so much gear right now that it's totally worth it for somebody to try and kill us. I learned something about combat, by the way, that I wanted to bring up. So I've been reading other people's guides and like trying to figure out how to do things better when you play the game. And actually, I found a guide that tells you that you never want to sleep inside forests unless you're a melee character. Because if you're in a forest or you're on like a lake hex or like a hill hex, apparently it starts the enemy closer to you, which might explain why we had so many problems with that issue in previous episodes. I don't know. We need thirst quenching right now. Let's go ahead and see if we can find anything here. With botany, we should have a pretty good run right there. We got blackberries and a couple of edible mushrooms. We found a broad spear out in the middle. I guess somebody got murdered right here, it looks like. Empty out his pockets. Yeah, never turn down a lighter in this game. Never ever turn down a lighter, because you never know. You never know. The time you leave a lighter around, you're going to need a lighter, I promise you. Every time I leave a lighter behind, I need it. Like I run out spontaneously, or like my bag breaks and I lose all my lighters and I wish that I had brought just that extra one. Something terrible happens every single time I don't bring a lighter, and it ruins my life. It makes everything, I don't know, it does not make everything lighter when I lose my lighter. It makes everything heavier and darker and more upsetting. There we go. Let's see here. I need to grab these berries. Alright, and so I don't know if I want to I don't know if I actually... Oh, I don't know. I can't decide if I wanted to... Yeah, whatever, we'll do it. I don't care. I tend to drink bad water all the time in this game, and if I get gastroenteritis, so be it. I don't cry about it or get upset about it. We're just going to go back to the ATN. The reason being is that hopefully we could purchase some more shotgun shells over here, and then we can just ditch the rifle with them and make our money back so that we're not actually paying for things that we don't need. There we go, and so we will browse the trading post. They have no bullets. Every now and again, I come back to the trading post, and they have like $1 million worth of bullets in here. But most of the time, they don't. They have a Travois, though, which we'll probably try and take. I'm going to empty out that. We're going to keep the rounds just in case. But for now, since we have more bullets for the shotgun, we're just going to keep the shotgun and try and recover a little bit of cash. On this side, that thing should still be in decent shape, so I'm going to sell the good stuff over here. Make a little bit of scratch. Not going to lie, we could use the scratch, the dosh, the chips, the change, whatever we can throw up into our inventory right now. Don't throw up in my inventory. As I said that, I was like, yeah, somebody's going to throw up in my inventory now after I said that. Blah! I'm like, no, not into my inventory. Why? I'm going to bring the Travois with us because it'll allow us to actually carry a bit more. It'll also allow us to offload. I mean, I could have put my crowbar up on the cart. It also allows us to... Well, I don't know. I'm going to carry the shotgun as our main weapon, but I don't think it would actually be a terrible plan. Tough call right there. It sounds like there's a verbal altercation taking place outside my apartment right now. Why do they always choose my house to fight outside of? I feel like it's just the worst because my house is right next to the swimming pool at our apartment complex. In California, most of the apartment complexes will have like this terrible rinky-dink swimming pool just as like a sell value. Like when you go to like get the apartment, they'll be like, oh, and we have a pool. Like they'll get super excited about it, but it's like a 3-foot deep pool that you basically just like wade it. Like you wade out and into it. It's not even like a real pool. So anyways, what happens is people hang out by the pool, yes, even in winter, and they get in fights. I don't know why. Something about going to the pool makes people upset. When I go to the pool, it makes me happier. So I don't get what's wrong with these people where when they go to the pool, they get upset. When I go to the pool, I'm pretty happy, but I don't know. It sounds like they've decided to let it go for right now, which is good because I didn't want to have to like edit a chunk of my episode out. Feeling particularly undesirable at the moment. Or that's feeling particularly undesirable at the moment. We've got an extra bag, and not going to bring it. Not going to bring it. We've got that right there, though. That's pretty good. That'll actually probably fetch a decent price. Let's see here. Multi-tool's like, fine, I've been here for 8 seconds. You're already sending me off to fetch things. I know how this relationship's going to be. I see exactly how this is going to play out. I'm going to go back down to Zomzoms now, and I'm hoping we can get it done before the end of this whole thing. I don't know. Let's sleep for a little bit. I hate nighttime in this game until I have night vision goggles with a microcell. Up until that point, I'm like, man, nighttime is a pox upon my gameplay experience. A pox upon the collective ass of my gameplay experience, thus leaving a scar. I have so many pockmark scars. Like, I don't know if a lot of people have that. Like, you can't see it in the videos. I have a giant chunk of my eyelid missing from a chickenpox scar when I was a little kid. My mom tells this story, and this is apparently how it happened. So I got the chickenpox when I was like 5 years old because everybody gets the chickenpox when they're like 5 years old. It's just standard practice for little kids to get the chickenpox. In fact, you hope they get chickenpox because getting chickenpox as an adult, my aunt got chickenpox as an adult, like as a 35-year-old, and it almost killed her. Chickenpox is a lot more deadly towards adults than it is towards kids. I don't know why that is. Scientifically, I can't really tell you. But what I will say is actually some doctors even recommend you like exposing your kids to chickenpox just so they'll get it when they're kids. Like, it's unpleasant, but it's better than getting it when you're 40 and almost dying. So anyway, I wanted to craft right now. Would you like to peruse our selection of craft crowbars? I can see you are a purveyor of fine crowbarry. Well then, let me craft forth for you a crowbar to go around our shoulders so that we can scavenge better. Technically, I could throw this onto the cart now and it'll still count. And we might as well make use of it now that we already have it. It has already lost 6%. It disappoints me how quickly these things fall apart. I also think it doesn't count quite so much towards your weight if you put it on a cart, I think. I think it actually deducts from your weight. I'm not positive. I usually just throw all the stuff that I'm going to sell up on the cart and then just don't think about it for the remainder of the time. But we've actually got a decent amount of cash we're going to be making in the next episode or two if we can make it happen. I don't want to lose my stuff, though. That's what I'm always worried about when I go down to Zomzoms, because they remove all of your gear. Makes me very, very sad when they remove all of my gear. Well, we've got a Travois for a little bit. It's not something we can depend on for the long term. If you're a mechanic, you can build your own, which is pretty swell. And in fact, one of the only reasons I would recommend taking mechanic. It's a pretty good benefit, honestly. It's nice to have. I'll probably throw the saucepan in here too, so that it doesn't eat up quite as much space. There we go. And so now we're off back on the road. We've already looted over here. I'll probably need to handle my thirst pretty shortly. That guy's got a gun. I've got a gun. Everybody's got a gun. I think we can all agree that this situation is not going to turn out well for anybody considering. Nothing found right there. I don't know if I should be scavenging so close to a guy with a firearm. He might be friendly. You can never tell, but if he's a bad mother, I would prefer to not. There's Zomzoms over there, but I got to scavenge some food first. See if we can get ourselves fed real quick. Alright, because we are parched, our capacity for carrying stuff has gone down slightly. There it is. I'll probably just drink bad water for right now, and then off to Zomzoms we go. However, it appears as though we're out of time for this episode, so we'll do Zomzoms in the next episode. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today as we played Neo Scavenger. I look forward to seeing you all in the episodes to come. Take care out there, everybody, and as always, a very fond farewell and hi-do from me to you. Bye, everybody.